sales school, a spy student school, and I'm going to be tomorrow in a special event in two parts. First part presentation, lunch, and working about applying the tools that we learn in the morning. Okay?
Okay.
Something for that. She's very young. She's incredibly talented. She is a very high value. So if you have time, don't miss.
She
makes difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'll say on top of that, since you're all in the public speaking class, Grace has put some real time into becoming very polished. And her style is very TED Talky, but in a good way. I'm not saying this in like, oh, she's very TED Talky. I'm saying, no, she's very polished. She's learned how to deliver smoothly, good slides, everything. She's a style of speaking. Now, for a lot of you, it's not going to be your style because you do things that are more emotional or different. But if you just want to see an example of someone who's really worked at it and developed their own style well and delivers cleanly and smoothly from a public speaking aspect, the first thing I said to her, it's like, you've obviously done a lot of good work. And she was like, oh, thank you. So that might be a good thing to see from that point as well. She interacts with the audience. She has good exercises. She's up, she's down. She changes her tone of voice, the mood quite a bit. She delivers information, but she chunks it well into bite sizes so you can absorb it. She does a lot of things right. So it might be a good example for you to see that. Okay, 10 more seconds because we got to move.
Yeah, no, I want to ask you
What's that?
if I can share the info in your group about tomorrow.
Which group?
Public speaking of Ubuntu.
Oh yeah, sure, of course. There's also a open mic night in Canggu on Tuesdays that's really good for people that want to deliver stuff that you shared. We should share that.
Toastmasters in not far from Ubud.
Yeah.
So if anybody interested, there's a member of the team, Nathan.
Okay, so let's dive in. Talk to Nathan about Toastmasters. Let's dive in. So one thing I want to make a distinction. It was great. Thank you for bringing this up, Amanda. She used the words when we were talking. This is great to pump yourself up. What I want to say that's different about that is the idea, honestly, is not to pump yourself up. It's to use these exercises so that you can live from this space. Like a pump up should be something you do situationally because you just went through a breakup, or maybe you're feeling low energy, or you're a little bit sick, or you just got in an accident or something, but you know what? You've got a talk to do. So like you have to ignore this for a minute. And then you go, oh, today I'm fine. I didn't need to pump this up. It just hurts. But it's like a pump up. You shouldn't think this is a pump up. What you should do is think of conditioning yourself so that you live from the place of self-acceptance, of owning what is good about you. And this isn't a pump up. It's where you come from. And that's that exercise I gave you guys a couple of weeks ago with the slides. I'll just share. I was doing that on Saturday. And on Saturday, I went very slowly. And I was looking at my own slides. I'm like, it sounds Mike, you see these slides, but do you see them? Like, that is pretty impressive. Shit. And one of them's about being a speaker. And it was like, you started from nothing. You trained yourself. Like, look where you've come. Like, think about that for a minute. Huh. Someone else did that. You'd think they were great. It's like, and then I went to the next slide. And it was about creating a community. I was like, you created that community. It lasted 3 years. So many people thank you for that. You made all these people into friends that didn't even know each other before. Think about that. And I was just because I was doing it a little more slowly, really taking it in. And then looked in the mirror. What does that mean about me? And look at that face that you see in the mirror. You're the guy who did that. And so when you do that and it gets into your body, you don't need to, quote unquote, pump up because you're living from a higher baseline of self-image and so on. Does that make sense? Who's got, yes, Susanna.
That's been such a game changer for me because what I do, I've done for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like second nature, so I forget to reflect on the impact that I actually have.
Yeah.
That I actually accomplished. And that is like really slowing down and just like, oh wow, yeah, we actually done instead of like always trying to move forward and forget to
Well, I did the exercise and like what I'm talking about you as if it was someone else's slides. And I was like, Jesus Christ, if one of my clients gave me this slide deck, I would be like, God damn, this guy's done some stuff, and I took it in. But that's what allows me to, for example, show up the way I do, because I'm not like walking around down here and temporarily giving myself a boost for all of you. I worked to create a higher baseline in the first place. Does that make sense? So you can use this practice to actually serve you just as a human being. And that serves whoever you're in a romantic relationship with. If you have children, it serves your children because they've got a parent that's teaching them that this is where you start, right? You don't start down here and then repair yourself. You start here because that's where the parents started. It's really good for everybody in your life. Okay, so it's turning into personal development day. My apologies. Getting into delivery. So let's start with attachment styles. And then I'm going to take it through the 7 steps. And then I'm going to do it in different ways, using different body language, different tone of voice, different pace, tone, posture, position. And you can see how it feels. And then, let's see. Yes, we will have time. If some of you want to come and try it a little bit, we can have you come up and do like a little 3-minute thing. Okay? So, let's start with what you normally see from me. And then I'll go into other styles of the same thing. So I come on stage and says, this is Mike. He's going to talk about attachment styles. And you all go clap for me. Come on. Yay! Okay. And then I go, okay. Gang, it's so good to see all of you here today. So what's the first thing we do when we step on stage? We what? Connect. It's so good to see all of you here today. And I have to tell you, I am so excited that every single one of you showed up. I mean, I see when I look at you and when I look at you, your eyes are bright. You're ready for this information. And that's great because this is something that I tell you is so important to me. It actually changed my life. I didn't know about attachment styles until I was an adult, and I'd been through a lot of crazy relationships. And then someone's like, oh, here's why. I'll tell you this story later, but it changed everything. And now that we're together, I'm hoping that this changes things for you, or at least gives you some new distinctions. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. You ready?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, sir. You ready?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. You ready? It's not that I don't love you in the back row. It's that we got to keep going. So here. Oh, wait. Front row. One more. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So let me ask you, how many of you have ever been in relationship after relationship and gone, now this might not apply to some of you, but gone, why do these partners keep not working out? I can't understand. They seem so great in the beginning, and then something happens and we're not a match. Is this just me, or some of you have been there? Yeah. Wait, raise your hands high. I want to see how many you get. Okay, so like 90% of the room. Okay, we got 2 people who've avoided this trap, or maybe who's just wildly typing the notes. But so how many of you got that? Now, here's the thing. How many of you have done that and you've been completely perplexed? You're like, I don't get it. Is my picker broken? Like, what's happening? Who's ever been like confused by this? Yeah. Okay. What if I could share with you something that changed my life when someone shared it with me? I was sitting on the couch. She tells me this one thing. I get this book. And after that, my relationships changed forever. And they've been so healthy ever since. If we spend a little bit of time talking about this, who thinks that could be helpful to them? Show of hands. Raise them high. Yeah. Okay, everybody who didn't raise their hand, you can go. So, but you didn't raise your hand, you can go. Oh, you okay, good. I just want to make sure. So, right. There's a thing called adult attachment styles, just so I know who's familiar with this term. Does anyone know what the 3 main attachment styles are? Few people. Okay. Of the people that know what they are you familiar with how you can apply them to relationships in life? Okay. And great. The rest of you, you're about to learn something great. And by the way, just to tell you, you're not stuck in your style. You can change. So I'll start with a story about me, because I have been doing this, talking about this now for years. Once I made this distinction, I'll tell you, I worked like a dog to shift my attachment style. all my relationships after that became healthier. I mean, like I never could dream things could be this peaceful and smooth and non-dramatic. Not that they never had drama, but it was like such short-lived drama. I was like, what? It was great. And, you know, I've actually even helped partners of mine that wanted to shift a little bit, shift. And it's been beautiful, right? So if you notice, that's the credibility phrase, right? That's been beautiful. So let me tell you how this happened. There I was recovering at the time from throat cancer. I had this tumor in my throat that they lasered out. I didn't used to have this sexy rasp that I have now. I had quite a different voice, but my doctor was like, you know, when we get done, you're going to have a little rasp to your voice. I'm going, what am I going to sound like? He goes, you're going to sound like you. I go, oh, like me, but just a little sexier. And he's like, exactly. So my old voice was a little different. But I'm recovering from throat cancer. And the reason I mention that fact is to say this is how bad I was. I was in this relationship. So there's 3 attachment styles: anxious, avoidant, and secure. There's also dysregulated. There's also a few others, but the main 3, right? Dysregulated means the person's wildly going back and forth between all of those. But for our purposes right now, we'll talk about the 3 main ones. And I did not know that I was an anxiously attached person. I also didn't know that I was dating an avoidant person. And the third thing I didn't know is that's literally the worst possible relationship you can be in, because you trigger the crap out of each other. Yeah. And because I didn't even know these things existed. And a friend of mine came to take care of me, because when I was recovering from this, I wasn't allowed to speak for 3 weeks at all. So I was always sitting there with the board, and it got kind of lonely because I wasn't really supposed to go out. You know, I was vulnerable. My system was vulnerable. Thank God I never had to do chemo or anything because they got it early. But she came to sit with me, and she just happened to be a world-renowned psychiatrist, Robin, who is this genius, amazing woman. And I'm writing on my board while I'm recovering from this severe problem about my relationship. Like, that's how much it had hijacked my brain. And she's like, oh, well, that's happening because you're anxious and she's avoidant. I'm like, what are these words you're saying? And then she goes, oh, there's this book called Attached. You should get it. And it talks about all this. And I was like, give me this magic book. And we got it on Kindle. And I started reading it. And I was like, someone wrote a book about me. Because it was talking about these terribly dysfunctional relationships and these pain. And I was like, someone wrote a book about me. It also had a section where it said, if you want to be securely attached, you can do stuff to make that happen. I was like, yes, I've got nothing but time right now. Exercises, do them. So, okay, this is one style of delivery, right? How are you feeling with this? What's coming up for you? But do you get this? Did you see that I went through all the steps to number 4? Yes? Did you notice the steps?
Number 4, I didn't get.
I was delivering the information. This was when I was in my story. If I had kept going, I would have said, and so here's what I learned from the book, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. But if I do that, we're going to not have time, right? So I'm giving you the beginning of step 4, right? But how did that feel? What? Exciting? Very engaging.
Yeah, engaging, and I'm familiar with this side, so I'm.
You're like this. What else? Hayden, what about for you?
I want to echo the engaging. I was really invested in hearing more.
Hearing more.
Really well.
Yeah.
I felt very, very connected. It was like, oh, we're having a personal conversation.
Yeah. And?
So smooth. Like, I want to learn more about it.
Yeah. So, but you notice I came in high energy, right? I am doing all the things, asking you questions, who's engaged, lots of eye contact. You notice I'm moving back and forth across the stage so I don't ignore anybody, right? I'm making eye contact. I'm drawing stuff out. When I say, someone tell me, what are you thinking, right? I'm drawing this to you. And it's this high energy. And it's one way of doing it, right? And then I go down a little bit when I'm telling my story, but I'm kind of excited about the story, right? And it's one style, right? And it can serve the material. By the way, what I guess I'll do is when I get to step 4, the next couple of times I do this, I'll go further down my story. So now you know I was on the couch with Robin. We'll take that as a given. And when I go into step 4, I'll skip past that part and I'll do like the next thing so you can at least hear the end of it. Okay, so let's say I was a different type of person. Some of you may not know these guys because they're sort of old school, but Tony Robbins, and there's another guy, Wayne Dyer, who a lot of people know. And, the funny thing is, in their delivery, they were almost polar opposites, right? Tony is this hyper athletic, 6'7" giant that just booms on the stage. By the way, he is exactly the same way in person. People always ask me this. Literally, it'll wear you the fuck out. Like you walk in for breakfast. Breakfast! Isn't breakfast good? And you're like, yes, Tony, breakfast is good. I mean, he's just like, he's got so much energy all the time, but he's focused on health, athleticism, everything, right? And Wayne certainly wasn't focused on health and athleticism. He had these sweaters and this big pot belly, and he had all the dad jokes. He'd come on the stage and he'd speak very slowly, and he'd say, I tell my wife, this isn't a bald spot, it's a solar panel for a sex machine. And, this kind of thing. But the funny thing is, they would both fill, 10,000 person stadiums. Because for some people, Tony was the thing, man. They wanted that energy. They wanted all the stuff. And for other people, that literally shorted their circuits, right? There was just so much. And then for some people, Wayne was like this hug. It's this guy that comes out, and he just talks to you and says how glad he is to see you here today. And I'm wonderful that you're participating. And, Nathan, I saw you before we talked, and I'm really excited I'm glad you're up front. How are you? And he just felt like this dad or this uncle and this hug. And the funny thing is, if you listen to their content, the principles of transformation that they espouse were almost parallel. Like you can change your way of thinking. You can break your state. Your emotions are within your control. You have flexibility in who you are as a person. Here's some tools for doing it. But they delivered differently. Same message, many messengers. Yeah. And so the funny thing is, people that couldn't take Tony loved Wayne. Some people go to Wayne and go, that was the most boring 4 hours of my life. What the fuck? Did this guy take Valium before he got on stage? And they ran to Tony seminars. But neither's wrong. Got it? Like both of them were world famous. Both of them had multiple best-selling books. Both of them filled 10,000 person arenas. They just did it. And both of them basically had the same message for humanity. They just did it differently. So before I say anything, what do you take from that? What? Yeah. As Oscar Wilde said, be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Right?
And also don't compare yourself to others.
Oh God, that's such a waste of time. I told you about Tony and the billionaire, right? Like lives in a castle and now goes to a billionaire's house for one afternoon, comes home, my house sucks. Like what the fuck? Right? Destroys everything. I mean, yeah.
I'm just so happy that you're talking about Wayne Dyer because I love the guy.
Right.
One of my favorite people to listen to.
Yeah.
Just last night I had his tape on for like an hour. Just
Yeah.
And I recognize myself in what you said, like Tony's energy or his style did not speak to me at all. But then Wayne was like, oh, I can listen to the guy for hours.
Yeah. Wayne, if you like Wayne, then I hope you know, and if you don't know, learn Michael Beckwith. Michael Beckwith. Michael Beckwith, African-American guy from Los Angeles, who is very much delivers like Wayne.
Okay.
He's a little more demonstrative and dramatic, but like, holy fuck, this guy. He just gets on stage and love is you feel, I mean, this is not me exaggerating. Like you get on stage and you know how like, this is a terrible analogy, but like, you know how like if someone threw a stink bomb on stage, like slowly the smell goes into the room. It's like someone threw a love bomb on stage. Like this guy just walks out and he is, I know him, and he is as a human being so full of love all the time for humanity. And literally you just feel it go out without him even doing anything. And he's slow and he's humble, but people love this guy. You know, because he's sincere, he's got integrity, and he's powerful, but completely different than, you know, Tony or Lewis Howes or somebody like that. Yeah. Okay. So let's do a little Wayne Dyer. Same thing. It's so good to have you here. And I forgot, I met you before. What's your name?
Yeah.
Say- Amara? Amara, wonderful to have you here. And Huda, it was good talking to you. I'm glad you enjoyed my book. And, you know, Nathan, good to see you. And all of you. I just want to say it's great to have you here. You know, I want to share with you something that changed my life. It got me my current wife, my only wife, who I love. You know, I often tell her that this isn't a bald spot. It's a solar panel for a sex machine. You can tell, right? But honestly, this was life-changing for me. And it's the reason that I'm in the best relationship I've ever been in my life with someone I love more than I can possibly say. So how many of you would like to hear about how you can make that happen for yourselves? Sound good? Good. So this happened to me a while back. And it was funny because I was not good at relationships. You know, I'll tell you, I was not good because this is how bad I was. This is how bad I was. I had throat cancer and I was recovering from this. And in the middle of not being allowed to speak for 3 weeks and having to write everything on a board, in the middle of having a tumor lasered off of my vocal cord, guess what I was obsessing about? My relationship. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was ruminating all the time. It was driving me insane. I'm recovering from this operation, which affects my voice, which I use for a living. And this is what I'm ruminating about. Anybody ever been there, by the way? Where it's something like a relationship just takes over your brain? Oh my God. But I always often say women are far smarter than men. Thank God. And a female friend of mine, Robin, was at my place, and she's a world-renowned psychologist. And she goes, "Oh, well, I know why you're a mess." And I'm like, "Thank God, tell me." And she goes, "Oh, because you're an anxious person dating an avoidant." And I was like, "What are these words you're saying?" You know, and I had no idea what they were. She goes, "They're attachment styles. And you're extremely anxiously attached, so you need constant reassurance that you're loved. And this person being an avoidant, they want love for a limited time, but as soon as their cup is full, they need privacy. But every time they run away for privacy, you get more anxious. But every time you get more anxious and say, hey, just tell me you're coming back, they get more avoidant because they're like, God damn it, just leave me alone for a while." And I'm like, oh my God, have you had a camera in my living room? Have you been listening to our phone calls? Have you been reading my texts? That's exactly what's going on. It was crazy. So I sat there and I said, what can I do about it? And she told me about this great book, which is called Attached. Anyone heard of this book, by the way? No. Oh my God, so good. So this book is called Attached, and it had the cure. So I went and read the book. You've heard the first part of the story, right? Now I go to, so I read the book. I did the work to become securely attached. And guess what happened? Guess, Amanda.
Sorry.
Were you falling asleep?
No, I was just.
What do you think happened when I read the book?
My brain is not good. Please.
There
There
you
is
go.
your
Wonderful
woman of your
deflection.
dreams.
Good technique. Yes. What do you think
There
happened?
is the woman of your dreams.
Not yet.
According to your story.
Not yet. Didn't marry a woman of dreams yet. What happened? What do you think?
You did good work on yourself.
I did good work on myself. What happened?
You guys broke up.
We did break up. Thank God. But you know what happened after that? So I did the work to become securely attached, and I walked into these parties, and they were full of great people and beautiful women. And every time I saw an avoidant, my brain went, her, go talk to her. And I was right back in my pattern. Except now I knew what I was doing. So I would be like, avoidant. And I had this pull of like, oh yes, someone who's guarded, going to be hard to get emotion from. And I started walking toward this part of the room. Sorry, Nathan, I don't mean to put my crotch in your face. It's just for a thing. I walked to this part of the room and I saw her. And then my brain would go, Wayne, you're about to do something stupid. Don't do this. And I'd go, right, thank you, brain. And then I would back up and I would go over here. And it kept happening and happening, but now I had the distinction, so I had a choice. Because of course, just having the distinction doesn't make the pattern go away, true? What makes the pattern go away? When the pattern fires, so everybody jot this down for themselves. How do you break a pattern? Not by having a distinction, but the pattern fires. You use your distinction to say, no, I'm not going to do that. And then guess what happens? The pattern will fire again, another time. And you use your distinction to say, no, I'm not going to do that. And if you break the pattern, break the pattern, break the pattern over and over again, the pattern gets weaker and weaker until finally it what? Dissolves, disappears. Who would love to see their patterns disappear? Yay? Okay, so what do you think of that delivery? So how'd that feel different?
So easeful, so welcoming, like
Like a hug, warm hug.
Like a warm hug, right?
I can feel my heart space get warmer, and that's more.
So you're saying that when I deliver my way, it's not
No, it
warm?
is.
I don't make your heart warm?
Then I'm like enchanted.
No, then you I get it. But no, you feel the heart space, it feels like a warm hug. What else? What else? Go on. What came up for you guys? Yes.
advice from the uncle or so.
Like from advice from an uncle, right? Yeah.
But also I like the mix of both, because I would probably get bored if I sat too long with it.
Yeah. You said too long with it. And that's why I said you want to go up and down. We're going to do an example of that too. Anything from this table? What came up for you? Yeah.
Well, I used to listen to Tony for years when I needed to pump up.
Right.
And now when I'm in more heartful space, I feel more attracted to the Wayne style.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very interesting to observe through your presentation.
Yeah. But do you notice, by the way, in Wayne style, I'm still moving around the room. I'm still making eye contact with you. I'm still, thanking you, talking to you personally. I'm still eliciting feedback, right? But gentle, slow, sitting on the table, laughing at myself a little bit. Were they equally as powerful, yes or no? They both work, right? Like, well, I mean, for you, did it come through equally as like, I want this information, this is going to be great, I want to hear what's next? Yeah? But you're right. Something might resonate more with one person than the other, which is what I was saying.
You know, what I felt is that I didn't feel guarded this time.
Yeah.
So like when you come natural, I kind of feel guarded initially.
Mm.
And I think that's just the difference, how you describe like this person versus this person.
Right.
And what people can kind of take in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you are, there's another thing, if you guys know this one, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, right? And some people are super visual, like Tony Robbins. They think in pictures, they use picture words and speaking like, oh my God, you have to see this thing. It's amazing. And when you see it, you're never going to look at things the same way again. And they talk fast and they move fast, they use picture words. Wayne is for like kinesthetic people. Kinesthetic people talk slow. And they pause a lot. And they use picture words like, how does that feel to you? If you sit with that for a minute, just try it on. How does that feel? Right? They use feeling words, right? Who's already like this? And then you get people like me, and I'm auditory. So I'm like high auditory. I'm in the middle. I'm not super nuclear visual like Tony. I'm not kinesthetic like Wayne. I'm auditory. I talk fast enough to keep you involved. I use stories. How does that sound to you? Does that resonate with you? Does that click for you? Those are the words that come to me naturally, right? Each of them is different. And honestly, if you want to get your whole audience, you need to move back and forth between all three. Sometimes be visual, then go down to kinesthetic for feeling, then come back up to auditory, right? So I'll do one more. And then let's see if we can get some of you to practice. So this would be, what I'm thinking is someone shy and quiet, like that woman, Jennifer, that I met. But I want to get from you, what style would you like to see me demonstrate? I gave you sort of a Tony Robbins, a Wayne Dyer. You want to see a mix? Okay, I'll do that. But let's do one more style. The shy one? Okay. The shy, quiet person. Like a Jennifer, right? Okay. So if I was Jennifer, okay. So Everybody, this is Jennifer. She's going to talk about attachment styles. Give her a hand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is really a blessing to be here with you today. And I have to tell you, I'm excited because I get to share one of my favorite things. And it's something that I've seen be life-changing for people. Life-changing for me, for sure. And life-changing for so many people I shared it with. Because it helps people understand why relationships go badly, why they go well, and the fact that things aren't just up to fate. You don't just happen to have to get lucky and meet your person. You can actually be able to tell if somebody's your person. It gives you some power. Who likes the idea of having some power in this area of life? Show of hands. I like having power. I'm only 5'1". I need power somewhere. Can't get things off a shelf without a grabber. I need power somewhere. At least I have power here. So let me tell you how I got that power. So first off, hi, I would like to introduce myself. My name's Jennifer, and I'm a messaholic. My relationships were a mess. Anybody here in Messy Relationships Anonymous with me? Oh, yeah. It's okay to admit it. But the thing is, I didn't know why. I had no idea why. And then my friend Robin told me about this book on attachment styles. So how many of you, if I could share with you the key to making sure that you pick the right partner from now on, or at least someone that could be the right person, stop making bad choices, you'd be like, tell me that key. Who wants to know? Okay. And I'll tell you where this comes from is an amazing book called Attached. Great book with a picture of a magnet on the cover. From Robin, who is a world-renowned psychologist and walked me through this. And from my own experience and how this changed my life. Credibility phrase, right? So let me tell you the story. So you guys now have the first 2/3 of the story. Robin told me, da-da-da. So I went to work and I broke the pattern again and again. I kept being attracted to avoidance, but I didn't ask them out. I let those guys go home by themselves. Used to be, yeah, I'm Jennifer now, so it's Matt. Used to be, I'd follow them home. Now I let them go home and I waved as they drove away, happily. And then after I broke the pattern enough, you know what happened? You know what happened next? What do you think happened next, Suda? No. What happened next was nothing. There was a long period of nothing. Because my brain was like, well, if you're not going to do this, what are you going to do? But I hadn't been in secure attachment long enough to know what it felt like in my body. So I just kind of was like by myself for a minute and understanding what it felt like to be at peace and not be triggered by the idea of a relationship. But then, one day, I was at this party and this guy walked in and he was so grounded and non-dramatic and solid. And for the first time in my life, my brain did something it never did before when I saw a guy like that. It went, fuck, he's sexy. And then the other part of my brain went, what? You never go out with guys like this. And then the first part of my brain went, yeah, I know. Time for a change. So I went and talked to him. And we didn't fall in love and get married or anything, but I dated this guy for like 2 months. And I was like, this is what this feels like. And now I had a template. So write that down. Your first secure relationship operates as a template. And now my brain knew what to look for. Okay, so what do you guys think about that delivery? How did that land with you?
I feel engaged because I also see this little woman in front of me.
Yeah.
So that with this, I just love character. I
Yeah.
love when I see character and honest, like authenticity.
Yes.
And I always get engaged. And
So
it's
I
different
play a
from
woman
me.
authentically, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. All right.
Very, very well.
I should have brought a dress. Okay. So I play what else? What came up? Search you.
Yes. I missed the part while you are sharing this kind of speakers. But for me, I was the one that I lead the audience because it was creating me. I couldn't listen to all because the voice was going down.
Yeah, and you're all the way in back.
Intimate,
Yeah.
well, we have an audience of.
Well, you'd also have a microphone
Okay, cool.
in a real thing. Yeah.
Yes, and for me, I didn't feel
You didn't feel engaged or empathy.
No. It made me feel a little bit like okay, it's enough. It's when she's going to start to talk properly, when she's going to talk loudly, when
Right.
I was waiting for something.
Right.
That's
Now,
the reason why, yeah.
thank you for being an example of same message, many messengers, right? Because how many people like Jennifer's style? They thought that was actually kind of cool, right? There's Jennifer, Wayne, Tony, none of them are wrong. And all of them equally deliver the information well. For some people, it's like, oh, I don't think I'm going to go see her again. Not because she did anything badly, but it's like too slow, too this, for his nervous system, for his personality. Right. But Jennifer was doing fine. She's funny, she's engaging, she's delivering the story well, right? What do you think, Sarah?
As a facilitator, presenter myself, I get very inspired to take on, try out more costumes.
Yeah.
Even wider range. Daily.
Yeah.
That I feel inspired by when I see all the different characters.
Yeah. And you can move up and down energy level. Anything else about that one? Yes.
I felt actually the same message. I was like waiting for something, and
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay now. But it
Yeah.
shows that everyone is different.
Everyone's
you cannot
different.
Please everyone. So
Right.
you don't
But
have to.
but you can be super authentic,
Yeah.
and then you get your people that like you.
Exactly.
Like I said, Jennifer speaks all over the world, and she's loved. And Tony fills 10,000 person arenas. Wayne does too. Some people can see all three. Some people like 2 out of 3 of them. Some people are like, oh no, this one.
Yeah.
Right? Same message, many messengers. That's why. But the main thing is, if the way you deliver is authentic and sincere and backed by someone who hasn't pumped themselves up, but who actually believes that they're bringing value by standing on stage, right? They believe they bring value by getting on stage. Then your people will resonate with that. Have I told you guys about the 20-20-60?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right. It's fine, right? 20% going to love you no matter what you do. 20% will love you no matter what you do. 20% will never listen to you no matter what you do because you remind them of someone they don't like. And 60% are in the middle, and depending on how you show up, they'll make their decision. Right?
I would have a question because I've had also some speaker training, but it was more masculine. So I have the feeling I've adapted that kind of way of speaking. So I feel like, how do I find my own way of presenting, of delivering?
You got 2 weeks to practice.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is coming from you, right? God, if I was masculine all the time, I'd be so less of service to my audience. Like, it's useful, I try not to cry too often on stage only because it's an interruption. But if it's sincere and I'm feeling something, for me to tear up is useful for the men in the audience. It creates a moment of heart. It gives them permission, right? In being in my feminine in certain times when I'm coming down and wanting to be soft and really connect. First off, it's just useful for the audience. It's actually it's useful in a lot of ways. It creates connection. It creates permission for people that don't go there, like women who are in their masculine, men who think that there's only one way to be a man and don't realize that a true man is integrated, So, yeah, whoever taught you that, yin and yang, man. Like, we need both.
I know that.
Yeah.
It's just like because the teachings that I've observed were mostly from men. And that's why probably in my mind somewhere it's like that's how it is and that's how it should be. So I have the feeling I'm finding like what is my style.
Well, it sounds like men who either aren't integrated or don't teach integration. And I'm not saying there's a put down to them, but like even if you watch a speaker, for example, like Tony's speaker, everybody thinks it's hyper masculine. He has tons of times when he goes down.
Yeah.
When he talks about his wife, when he talks about love, when he talks about meditation and how he got introduced to meditation, when he talks about his family. I mean, he has tons of times, when he's doing, gets super heartfelt and soft, right? Now he does it as a masculine man, but he definitely goes there too, right? You want to have range. And so if these guys aren't teaching that, either they are not integrated themselves or they don't know how to teach a style that's integrated. But integration, your instinct is absolutely correct that you should have both. Yeah. Okay. So one last example, and then we'll make some time for you, of all of them together. Okay? So what's this? So Mike is going to come and give us his great wisdom because he's a genius. Thank you. That's my intro. Okay. Hey, how y'all doing?
Great.
Really? I thought you'd be more excited to see me than that. Come on now. How y'all doing?
Wow!
Yes. Okay, I am excited today because honestly, you took the trouble to come through the rain and show up and be in this rice field with me. And I want to honor that and give you absolutely the best I've got. Because I see you here today and I'm thinking to myself, man, the advice that I have or this learning that I got has been life-changing for me. And I'm so excited to give it to you. So thank you for being here because honestly, that gives me a reason to wake up in the morning. It gives me a chance to share this thing that I really love to share. So give yourselves a hand for being here. All right. So let me ask you this. How many of you at one point or another in your life were in an organization called My Relationships Are a Mess Anonymous? Show of hands. Yes. Thank you. Hi. I'm Mike, and I'm a former messy relationship person. And how many of you, when things were a mess, you were like, but I don't get why they're a mess. Like, I'm not so bad. And the people I'm picking, it's not like there's obviously walking red flags or something that I should know, but I just keep not matching. And I can't figure out why. Like, who's been there? Okay, what if I could share the key with you and show you exactly what it is? Because someone shared this with me years ago and it changed everything. Who'd like to hear that? Show your hands. Okay, great. So first off, let me tell you where this information comes from. This comes from someone a lot smarter than me. And her name was Robin. She's a world-renowned psychologist who was a friend of mine. And this is how messy I was. I was recovering from throat cancer, had literally had my vocal cord, had a tumor lasered off it, gave me this new sexy rasp that my voice has now, which I quite like. But if you listen to my old audio programs, you hear a very different voice. And this one's better. And the reason I mention that is to say I couldn't speak for 3 weeks. I needed people to come to my house and sit with me because I was lonely. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't do anything while I was recovering. And instead of thinking about healing, my mind had been hijacked by my relationship. It's all I could think about. Like, anybody ever been there where like there's so many other things in your life that are way more important and you just can't get this thing off your mind? Who's ever been here? Oh yeah. So what did I do? I got this book, and we go through the story. And we get to the end, and I'll tell you, what happened for me was after finding that really grounded, solid person and dating them for 2 months, even though that didn't work out, I had my template. And once my mind and my body and my subconscious knew what to look for, here's the great part. It kept finding it again and again. I was dating so healthy. I think the reason I stayed single so long, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a trick. So I'm like, no, I'm going to date one more person. This can't be real. That must have been a mistake. How could that person have been so grounded and cool and never argue with me and there's no drama? Must have been lucky. And I would date another person and it would happen again. And I would date another person and it happened again. And I'm like, this thing works. And once I realized it worked, I felt free. Because now I could get in the dating scene and there was no fear. I wasn't like, oh shit, here we go again. Anybody ever been to oh shit, here we go again land? Who's been to oh shit, here we go again land? But my brain was like, nah, no fear. Because there is no, oh shit, here we go again. It's like, oh, avoidant, bye. Oh, anxiously attached. I wish you luck. I used to be you. I've got a book for you. Have a great day. Oh, securely attached. You are so fucking hot. And I kept picking the right people. And it was awesome. Ah, felt so good. Anybody ever had a 7-minute argument and then wanted to make love or watch TV immediately after?
Yes.
Aren't they the best?
Yes.
Aren't they the best?
Yes.
Oh my God. I'll tell you, when I finally got security attached, the last woman I dated before I was leaving America, she walks in to my place ready to have a fight. She hadn't dated someone securely attached for. So she's like, why has nothing gone wrong? So she came to start a fight for no reason. And I'm chopping the vegetables because I love to cook. And I'm chopping the vegetables. Rachel walks in. She slides open the sliding glass door. She had the code to my building. And she comes in after work and she's just, you know what? Let me tell you something you don't know about you. And I'm just like chopping the vegetables going, go on, dear. And because I knew what was happening, which is we hadn't fought yet and it was freaking her out because she was used to drama. We've been together 2 months and it hadn't happened. So I'm like chopping the vegetables. I'm like, yeah. And she goes, so this and this and this. And I'm like, okay. She goes, why are you smiling? And I just looked at her and I said, well, babe, I'm smiling because you're not actually mad at me. And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, you just don't know what to do with yourself because we haven't argued. There's been no drama. And your mind is like waiting for the other shoe to drop. So you thought like, maybe I can make it happen. I go, but we don't have a problem. And the thing is, if there isn't a problem, there isn't a problem. And she just looks at me and she goes, you might be right. And I was like, I'll tell you what, here's the deal. Go outside. Here's your wine. Go outside. We lived at the beach. Have a look at the sunset. Give it 2 minutes. If you come back in and you still want to fight, I will put my shit down. We will fucking go for it. I will fight with you. We'll tear it up. Go out and think about it. And she goes, fine. She grabs her wine. She goes outside. She comes back in. Well, maybe I was trying to start something. I was like, cool. Do you want to fight? She goes, nah, doesn't seem to be any point. I was like, cool. You want to eat? She's like, yeah, I'm hungry. Put her wine down. I looked at my watch. I was like, 7 minutes. High five. And she high fives me. We start laughing. I go, 7 minutes. Let's see if we can beat that next time. That's a securely attached relationship. Isn't that amazing? I love shit like that. Who's ever had one of those fights? They're great, right? And like, I wanted to make love to her immediately. I didn't even want to eat because it was so sexy to me that I could be with someone that we could just literally just be emotional, talk through it. And I was like, and it all came from this. Who wants that for their life? Show of hands.
Yes.
Okay, so, by the way, was that useful to hear? I just want to be sure. Like, who was listening to that was like, yeah, I can see where this would apply in my life. Okay, got it. So let's talk about the next step. And the next step is, how do we take this from the concept I just taught you to applying it? Now we're going to get into personal examples and audience shares. Ready? Mm-hmm. That's step 7, transition. So who liked that one, going through the different styles? What did you get from that? What did you see from that? Yes.
I had the feeling, besides Jennifer, because that was very obvious, the other two were blending into each other.
Yeah.
So I didn't really felt the transition. So
okay.
Yeah.
But you did feel the difference in energy. You just didn't feel the transition because they were blending?
I felt when you were playing Jennifer's energy, that's what I felt. But Wayne and you, I did not feel the difference.
Oh, the thing is, no, Wayne and Jennifer are the ones that are similar. Like I sat down and that was sort of Wayne's energy. And then I got even quieter and that was Jennifer. And then this was more me. Yeah. Who else? Yes.
Yeah, I really liked just like the energy was very energizing, kept me engaged. But then, of course, then we had like the more personalized approach. So I found that the blend, it just made it more dynamic, more engaging to keep it changing all the time.
Yeah. Okay. And
I think you're the best.
Thank you, baby. Yes.
Yeah, I think dynamic is a great word. Just today, I'm a little more distracted than usual. And the last 2 presentations, I checked my phone. This presentation, although it's the same information, I found myself more engaged. I think
Right.
Yeah, because of the dynamic, I was still locked in.
Exactly. Okay. And that's why the flow. Yes.
Are you using the satire categories to in your flow?
The which?
We learned about the satire categories, and there are 5 types which you can consciously use in your talk. And they're like the levelers, really calming. You have the placater, that's more like this, with the blamer, and it's a way to.
No, I don't know those, but they sound like great distinctions to have. They sound wonderful. Yeah. Anything that suits you? Did you have your hand raised? No. Okay. Anyone else? Comments, thoughts, pauses? Anybody? So the point of doing this is to show you a few things. You notice I have different pace. I have different tone, different body posture, different position on the stage, right? And I'm using all things, body language, tone of voice, and my words to communicate with you. And it's landing differently. So first off, that's a demonstration of that. Second off, it's a demonstration that there is no right style, right? The right style is when you're connected with the audience, when you're sincere, when you have integrity, when they feel it, when you in yourself feel that you have value. So when you step on stage, you step on the stage as someone who's like, oh no, I have value to bring. Whether I'm perfect or not doesn't matter as a human being, right? And people feel that. There's no right or wrong way. The only thing you can do wrong is to stay in one posture so long that people get bored. Like even someone, Jennifer, yeah, she's quiet and she's sweet, but in her way, she varies. So she'll be like, and then I did this, and then I did this. And then do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? Right? So she'll change her way, but it's not like Tony. So then do you know what happened? She goes from, and so we were here and I was having this problem, but then this thing happened and then I got the key. And then I got the key. And do you know what happened? Right? So she's up and she's moving and she's making eye contact and she's doing this and she's excited, but she's excited her way. So she doesn't just stay here and deliver 2 hours of a talk like this. She varies, right? But she varies as herself. Not like, now, if you get a guy like Tony will go like way up. And then let's say someone in the audience is having a really deep problem and they open up about the problem and be like, look, I know this is hard for you, right? So he has this huge variance from like way up to really personal and engaging. She does too, but at her level. Make sense? But where she's not monotone. So does everybody get what I mean by that? Does everybody see what I'm saying? You still have to vary, but you don't necessarily have to be Tony. You have to vary from your baseline. If you're here, go up sometimes, go down sometimes, up sometimes, down sometimes. But your up doesn't have to be Tony Robbins up, right? Your down doesn't have to be Wayne Dyer's down. It's up and down from whatever your baseline is. Everybody got that? Yes, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Any questions for we have somebody try it? Yes.
And this can translate into conversations as well, like telephone conversations.
Oh, it's even more over the phone. You don't have body language. So it becomes 90%, 93% is tone of voice, right? And all the things, it absolutely translates over the phone. Absolutely works on webinars, on Zoom workshops. Same principle, exactly the same, right? You got to go up, down, all these things we're talking about. On Zoom, you still have body language because you have your face. They can see your hands. They can see you moving. But you can still do pace, tone, posture. You can still do tone of voice, all that. All right, real quick, we got about 20 minutes before we're going to stop at 1:05. And then when we stop, we'll all go upstairs. Let's gather upstairs to talk after class so we can just be up in the restaurant. Any questions about this? And who wants to volunteer to apply it to something that they want to talk about? Who wants to give this a shot? Yes? Oh my God, brave man. Give Nathan a hand. Okay, so Nathan, first off, give us context. What are you going to speak about?
Performance and presence.
Performance and presence in what respect?
So my whole topic is about inner freedom. So how do you turn a high performance to a high presence?
Ooh. Inner freedom, and how do you go from high performance to high presence? And so you're going to give us a few minutes chunk on that. And in doing so, you're going to vary your energy, practice, apply some of this stuff.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I can, because I memorized my script, so I can tell you which chunk I was in.
Okay.
So you can also give feedback on the chunk.
How long will it take you then?
If I shorter the story part, 4 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, keep it
If
3 or 4
I-
minutes.
yeah,
No, shorter it.
Yeah.
Because we're really doing this for delivery
Okay,
today.
so I don't need to go through
Okay.
the whole script.
Come on up. Okay. No. Wait, no, not yet. Stand over here. We're going to bring you on stage the right way.
Just ask the volunteer to record so I can look at that.
Guess what?
Yeah.
We're recording.
Oh, yeah, but I would prefer to work.
Okay. I was going to say what I can do is give you the other mic, and then you're going to have this recording with great sound. So why don't you come here? But you can do it the other way too. So. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Open up your shirt collar. All right, let's see. 1, 2. You are mic'd up. All right. So I will bring you in. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the world-renowned, incredible. Oh, we have a selfie stick over there, Natasha. The world-renowned, incredible speaker, Mr. Nathan, who is going to talk to us about how to go from performance to presence. How many of you would like to go from just being high achievers that are actually present and experiencing life? Show of hands. Oh, yes. Well, our man Nathan has the key. He is going to share this wisdom with you. So please bring him up in the way that only the Ubud public speaking class can. Let's have a big hand for Nathan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Tara, for having me. I'm Nathan. I'm from China. I'm a coach and also a stand-up comedian. This is the exact reflection or response from my mom. Even though I'm really high performing, she is not proud. Any one of you guys have done something that you feel great, but you still feel you are not good enough? Raise your hand. So much that in our life, we carry the burden on our shoulder. It's so hard to carry on because it's the high expectation from somebody else, or maybe it's just from ourselves. So today I'm going to talk about a topics, how to get from high performers, high achiever, to high presence, high frequency, and high freedom. Who wants to have that? Great. Let's harvest the energy, because when you raise up your hand, your energy is already in high frequencies. That's the freedom we are talking about. So this is trunk 2, just to let you guys know. Trunk free. So I would like to share a story, but short, not the whole one. 7 years ago, I was in Penang, Malaysia. I was a leader of a leadership development organization with 2,000 people. I lead the organization. I was on the top. I achieved all the things. I was at 25 years old. I went to United Nations. I talked with the executive and politics around the world. But I was in Malaysia, Penang. I was in that 26th floor. On the glass door, I was looking down on the pool, and I want to kill myself. That is the depression moments that I have. That's the darkest moments. I would say, if I just jump off from this cliff, from this glass window, and fall on that pool, is that going to end? Because there is going to be a lot of questioning that you should do better. Your team should work better. Your organization performance is dropping. You are the leader. You cannot escape that responsibility. And there's so much heaviness. And I don't feel free. Even I travel around the world. I get out of China. Since then, I have a long rehab from myself. I don't know what to do. I start to learn meditation. IFS. I start have a lot of coaches. Thanks for that. I got a lot of support, and I kind of climbing back from the valley of that darkest moment. Who have you been in that darkest moment? Please raise up your hand. If you are still inside, it's okay. We are here with you. So in these 7 years, I start to learn a lot of practice. I become a Buddhism practitioner, meditator, and also a coach. And I guide people from this kind of burden and no space for freedom to really explore their high inner freedom in their life. With 100 clients that I work in these 2 years, I gradually developed that there's a theories behind each of our person how to obtain this high inner freedom. Who would like to know about it? Yes. I hope this apply to my 100 clients can also apply to you. If you get one sentence get inspired and take away, it's just my grateful for you. And the first thing is, this is chunk 5, I think. Yeah, I'm talking about the story. So I got it faster. First story, I will talk. So there is an entrepreneur. He's a social media influencer. He's so young. He was at 23. He already get millions of followers, but he still didn't get approval from his mom. This is not a real job. I pay you to go abroad to study, but you're just doing funny video and get millions of views. What is your point? He come to me, we talk about it, blah, 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 blah. The first I realize is everyone live in a narratives, live in a why we do what we do. But the why come from the societies that I call it bullshit rules. It's bullshit. And there's a lot of things that we unconsciously having it. We carry on. But just one way to tell you is what takes you here will not bring you there. Dump the why that it doesn't suit you anymore. Second story, blah, blah, blah. There's a healer. She can name all the emotion.
Step 5. Go to step 5 and 6.
Okay, yeah. So there's another story. One day I will explore to you. Okay, the 6. So, do I have the pen? No, this one. Anyway, I will just write something just to demonstrate. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Almost.
So, in conclusion, there's the 3 steps that create the inner freedom for every one of us, which is called yes freedom. The why is why you do what you do. Yi is your emotional freedom. And S is your self-freedom. I call it self-free. That is the ultimate freedom that we are aiming at. Who wants the full yes in your life for your freedom?
Yes.
Yay! And question for all of you. Which part of the yes you still want to improve? Which part?
The fall.
Which part of the yes you still want to improve? The yi. Which part of the yes? The S. Yes. The S. So the full yi, S. So in the coming chapter, I'm going to share with you the methods that I developed for myself and also for my clients to how to get the full yes. It's called 4A. It starts with 4 words starting with A. The first word is aware. Are we ready for it?
Yes.
Thank you. That's
Dude, wait. Yeah, come on.
Thank you.
Gently. Oh my God. Fuck. Yeah, I told you were going to be great
Thank you.
from the very beginning. I told you. Give him a hand. Good. Jersey. By the way, talk about guts. Volunteers immediately. Gets up in front of a whole. This is the hardest place to do a presentation because when it's just an audience, right? people have paid to see you and you're like, oh, great, no problem, right? But here it's a class, so you know people are like thinking through what you're doing, not intimidated at all, just dives in, goes like you're any other audience, doesn't bother him he's in class with you. And did you see how clearly he did the steps? Could you see each one? Yeah, great. Who wants to actually, based on what he said, you'd like to actually hear the whole thing? Yeah, like I actually want to hear this. So get it developed and then have Soichi put you on the schedule for Tara. Like I think Tara would like it. But really, you did so many things right that were beautiful. Let me put this back. So stuff's recording. But you did so many things that were right, that were beautiful. And in service, I don't mind going over that like next week with everybody. Maybe to start our week 5, right? We'll analyze what you did well. Perhaps I can play it back or something. But in service of everybody's time. And if you want to know before then, we can jump on a call. But like you went through the steps really clearly. You were confident. Did you notice the energy level going up and down? Could you feel the sincerity, right? Like he opened up, he was vulnerable. And then when he got vulnerable, did you feel the room change the energy? Right? But then what did he do? He wasn't afraid to go down, but he also had a plan for doing what? Bringing it back up. And then he did, right? Because he's like, okay, we've all been there. Who's been there? Who's been this? If you're there, it's still okay. And then he's like, however, you don't have to stay here. I've got this thing and it does this. And I did it with someone else. Did you hear the credibility from the case studies? Like who here actually was like, no, I want to hear the case studies. Yeah. And then he's like, and here's your solution. There's something you can do. And even engage the audience well, right? Like didn't let anybody hide. What did you get? What did you get? What did you get? Right? Like wasn't afraid to go there. I mean, you did so many things right. It was beautiful. And by the way, did it in a foreign language. That's hard. English is his second language. And he did all that. So again, give him a hand. Yeah. In fact, so I was going to say, the only thing, by the way, whenever we analyze things, you always start with what went right, right? It's really natural for people to go the other way. They go, oh, here's what I would see, what I would improve. And then if there's any energy left over, here's what we did right. But it's actually not the best way to break things down. You got to go through what went right first. Quick aside about that. I had a client who called me up once, Lupe, and she was like, Mike, you're going to hate this. This is how she started the call. I didn't even have a chance to ask her anything. I go, hello? She goes, you're going to hate the call this week. And I go, why? She goes, it was a disaster. I did everything wrong. Work sucked. I was a terrible mom, everything. And I was like, hi, right? First 30 seconds of our call. And so she's like, we just got to dive in and we have to talk about this. And I said, okay, Lupe, here's the deal. I'll give you 57 minutes to talk about all that. But for the first 3 minutes, just tell me something that went right. She goes, nothing went right. That's what I'm telling you. The week was a disaster. I go, well, we can just sit here for 3 minutes. I'll set a timer. But try to think of one thing. And she goes, well, I did do this. And then this happened with my kid. And then I did do this. And like after 30 seconds, she was on a roll. And finally, I had the time went up. I go, okay, Lupe, I promised you that we have 57 minutes to talk about your week. 3 minutes. I keep my promises. That was great. You did a really great job. All things went right. What did you want to talk about? And she starts laughing. And I go, what's so funny? She goes, I can't remember. Because sometimes we get so triggered and we get in that thing of we got to fix ourselves, we got to fix ourselves, we got to fix ourselves. And all we got to do is step out of that for a minute. And the brain goes, maybe that wasn't all that important. So the first thing is always start with what you did right. What I would improve, although since this is your first time, I think that was magnificent, is simply your use of how you use the stage and body posture, right? The only thing I would improve is you're still rehearsing this, of course. You did a great job going up and down to motion, up and down tonality. You can do that more. Like when you go low, you could go real low. When you go high, you could go a bit higher. But I think what you did was very good with your personality. Your body movement, is a little like you're standing in one place and you're moving your hands in the same way. But what I would say about that is it's a great thing to practice, and someone's first time I don't expect them to get everything right. But if I was going to add to that, if you did exactly what you did, but you were more powerful and relaxed in how you move, right? Like you notice me, just because I've been on stage so much, I walk back and forth easily. I talk to these people. My hands aren't just here. They tend to be around and big. So yeah, that would be my note for you. And with everything else you did right, and being that that's your first time, I wouldn't expect you to get that right, because your brain's still thinking through your things. So of course you're staying in one place and kind of doing this, right? But I would say that as you practice, that's what I would practice to add to it. Yeah. Anybody else have a note to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no, but I have to say that my background is from performing arts, more than 20 years as actor, director,
Yeah.
tour manager. That's the reason why I have another. And my feedback from him, what I feel is that energetically, he was like that, you know, like he was talking a lot, moving and with the hands, and was the posture was a little bit against what he was saying.
Yeah.
Like the speech was very engagement, but he was like a, you know, like a, and I think I'm 100% sure that if he can put that way,
Yeah.
he's going to even project more. And of course, the same thing with the hands, you know, because
Yeah.
if I know what to do with the hands, then I'm moving the hands, and then because you move a lot your hands, sometimes it's going to match, of course.
Yeah.
Because you say, hey, you, of course, it's match. But if you are talking and saying this all the time, maybe it's a bit distracted and not quite connected with the.
Yeah. So I think this is a great note. And what I'll say as someone who coaches, I think it's a great note, similar to what I was saying, is a picture's worth, 1,000 words, and a video's worth 1,000,000. So I think two things will happen. As you get comfort with the material and you're just more rehearsed, your body will relax. And now that you've gotten that feedback, when you see the video, your body's gonna go, oh yeah, I see exactly what they mean. And that will automatically trigger something too. So I would expect that to actually disappear very quickly. So I want you to do this again week 6. And then you'll have had some rehearsal. You'll have seen the video. I bet we're going to see what he said, what I said, a whole different, edition. Give him a hand for being so brave. Okay. Before we end and go upstairs, let's do our how we end every class. So kids, what did we learn today? What are your top 2 or 3 takeaways from week 4 delivery? Go. Give me some juicy stuff. You keep looking at me and then you're like, should I raise my hand? I don't know if I want to. Like, yes, you have permission to raise your hand. What? And then Natasha, you. Go, Amanda.
I'm doing a presentation on Wednesday, and it's going to be like a lot of heavy stuff. And this taught me or reminded me that I need to end on a high note.
Yeah.
I really like in a big way. So to make it more dynamic, this really helped me to actually make my presentation way better.
Good. Give her a hand. That's what you're here for, man. Give her a hand. Can I watch the presentation? Oh, it's a ladies only kind of thing?
Yeah. It's a women's only. It's a closed container.
Are you sure? Did you just make that up because you don't want me to see it? Like, I got the feeling that I was like, I gave her the out. She's like, yeah, it's a closed container. It's only women. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I really loved how you broke down delivery styles into the back. I haven't connecting this kind of feeling of a hug. I really like how you described the talk like a hug.
Yeah.
I would love to develop this style, and
it's a great style.
Connected to Kay, to the kinesthetic style. How you even through the conversation can touch hearts by using words like touch.
Yeah.
I really make me think that's beautiful.
Yeah, there's all places I can send you some stuff. I've got videos on it, but studying visual auditory kinesthetic is you can get the whole end. I can go, how many of you see what I mean? Right? And who here can really feel that? Because when I tell you that this is important, right? And then I've gotten all 3 people by when I use visual. How many of you can see what I mean? Oh, yeah. And how many of you really feel that right now? right? And I go down change gesture and go, because when I tell you that this is important, and because I changed the words I'm using, how fast I'm speaking, and my body posture, I've gotten all three types of people in 10 seconds, right? So it's super powerful, because it's like, how do you relate to an audience of 500 people when they're all different? And some people do it by just having, like Wayne does, a certain style. And it's like, great, 10,000 kinesthetic and low auditory people show up. And the other people are not for him. But the people that can vary it is get everybody, which is one of the reasons that Tony's actually has, seminars where now 20,000 people come online, because he's able to get so many different personality types, because he's mastered varying. Okay, yeah, yes.
Sorry.
Do you have a question?
No, just
Okay, what else did we get?
it is a question, but I'll leave it later.
I'll leave it to later. What else did we get today? Because I want to get right upstairs. Yes.
Seeing those numbers, I mean, I saw it before, but seeing it again, it's just a confirmation that it's very important how we present ourselves,
Very.
body language, and it actually doesn't really matter what we say; it just really matters how we say it and how our posture is.
Yeah.
Because words don't really.
And you have, by the way, I would just say that this is something I've always seen in you, and I see it even the way you're sitting here. You have a beautiful combination of femininity and like iron. Like there's a part of you inside that I just feels like iron strength. But then, there's a book actually called Iron Fist Velvet Glove. And it's like this iron strength, but it's covered by this very feminine woman. And it's a beautiful combination. It serves men, because men need to be able to start handling women better than they do right now. It's like strong women should not intimidate a good man. And it's a great example for women that there's more than one way to be strong. You can be strong and feminine. So like that guy who was teaching you there's one way to deliver, this way is great. So like honor this. Yeah? Okay, a couple more.
Yeah.
Yes, Sochi.
I want to be here now because I got no.
What's that?
No, I want to say something about this class. Thank you, and I want to say something to all of you. It's 1 second. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you, because today we have a couple of moments where people got a bit of emotional and very vulnerable, and I couldn't feel the energy that. Oh, I'm going to get emotional.
It's okay. Be emotional, man. That's what it's for.
Yes, of course. I'm from Latin America. I'm gay. I have everything to be emotional. But I think it's the first time, even in a retreat, or something that is not a real environment like a retreat, where everyone was just feeling in the same page. And when she felt vulnerable, and everyone, I'm there, not because I don't want to be with you, it's because I'm doing other things for Sarah. And then I couldn't see from like a bit of outside how it was an homogeneous, the same energy in every single of you, and it was amazing. And even with our amazing speaker today, Nathan, it was also incredible, amazing, beautiful for me. Sorry.
It's okay.
To see that every one of us are in the same page. And then please don't forget to keep this in mind and to keep being compassionate with everyone. Okay, and then my thank you for creating this space and to create this atmosphere for us. Thank you all.
That's good. Good. Gently.
Thank you.
Yes, and then I have one more, but if anyone else has a takeaway they want to say real quick, because I want to get us upstairs. Yes, inspired. Yes.
The authenticity, like connection to, for me personally,
Yeah.
like how to find my voice, my authenticity, and not like copy anything with other.
Thank you. Yes, because you have a cool style.
Yeah.
Like everything about you, you have a great energy. You also are feminine and strong. You have just a way, and like, please don't be a copy of anybody else. Because I like this. There's a lot of people that if you just bring the most authentic version of this, they're going to be like, fuck yeah. So yeah, thank you.
That's why I want to connect.
Yeah. And it's, by the way, and when you do that, like I tell you, these things, I swear to God, I wish I had done blood work before these class, because even if you feel now like the love that flows through me when I'm doing this class, like how much I love all of you and how much I'm excited to be here. I don't know what kind of, how much dopamine and serotonin and like oxytocin I got running through me right now, but it's got to be good for my health, right? And so like, but it comes because I'm up here and I'm not thinking about myself, right? Pencils down, fill my own cup. I'm only thinking about you. It lets the love flow through me. And for 2.5 hours, I get to have these feelings in my body. But it can only come if I'm being myself, if I'm being authentic. If I'm in my head trying to be another thing, then I would just be in my head. And I wouldn't be able to let this love flow, you know? And the last thing I want you to have as a takeaway is think back to when we did the exercise about telling people why they should go see you. And I want you to journal today about what you think that means about you, that you froze. What's going on? What's the block? What does that mean about you? Not that you're wrong, but just discover for yourself what that was. And then the other note I have is, stop it! Yeah. You guys are great. Stop thinking you have to be perfect and flawless to give yourselves credit for what is great about you. I am not perfect and flawless at all, but I can at least appreciate the things that are good about me. Both can be true, right? You don't have to be perfect to love yourself. You don't have to be perfect to be great. You don't have to be perfect for someone to go, fuck, if you miss Hayden's thing, dude, you're missing out on life. It was so good. Show up. He's on Tuesday. It's his last class. Make sure you go. Like, to feel that way about yourself, you don't have to be perfect. No, it's not really. But I'm saying, like, if I'm pretending I'm Hayden doing that exercise with Hayden, right? But what I'm saying is, you don't have to be perfect as a human being or even as a teacher to be able to say that about yourself, to say, I'm doing something that's great and you guys are going to get so much out of it, and please don't miss it because you really will be missing out, right? Learn to feel this way about yourself. It will serve you. It will serve any romantic relationship you're in. If you have kids, it's going to serve them. And you deserve it. Of course you have flaws. We all do. It doesn't mean you're not great. Got it? Yeah. So take that away. All right. I will let you go. Let's all head right upstairs so we can congregate and talk up there. I will be up there. Let's all eat. Miss you, Irene. See you soon. Bye. I forgot to record this on the Zoom, but I recorded it here. See you, babe. Bye.
What was actually the key?
What?
I wanted to know more about the speech with the attachment style.
Oh, it was literally, I got the book attached. I read it cover to cover, and I did all the exercises in it. It was literally goes, look at all the people that you're swiping right on. I go, yeah, what about it? She goes, none of them are smiling. Yeah. She goes, they're all looking off in the distance or looking away. And I say, fuck for me, right? How dare you? How dare you totally nail me? I was like, because it was completely accurate.
That's so interesting.
Right.
I mean, I've watched